What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Alternation. So, in the man cave, got a little incident here, right? My man Oakley here. Good boy, good boy. Me and my main man Oakley hanging out in the man cave. Not gonna get into details, but plumbing incident. It can be hell, right? It is what it is. Luckily, don't need surgery, thank goodness, just lots of rest. So, gonna take the opportunity to give you guys some reviews. Recently had some questions on fishing lines. What do I recommend? What I think's the best? So we're gonna get into that now. So, welcome back everyone. Thanks for checking us out. If you don't mind, go ahead and click that subscribe button down at the bottom. Like, share, all the good stuff. It's YouTube. This is not my job. It's something I do for fun, but it's outdoors and it's motivation. That's what I like. So, that's what we're going to continue to do. So, as you can tell, a little different setup. We're still here in the man cave. Got my stuff set up, right? I can stream my Bassmasters, all my cool stuff. That's what I like to do. So, just working on something a little different. But anyways, back to what's important. Fishing line. Lots and lots and lots of questions. Oakley wants some frame time. Lots and lots of questions about fishing line and string, right? Average fisherman. This video is for the average fisherman, right? Look, I'm not a pro. I'm not sponsored. I don't get 3,000 yards of this stuff at a time. I'm just like you guys. I pay for everything I get. None of this stuff is sponsored. None of this stuff is given to me. I pay for it my own dime. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what works best for me, and as far as price point, quality, and what you can do with the line. So let's start off. That's what I use it. Oh, Oakley's mad. Oakley, hey, let it out, man. Number one question I always get, what's the best line? Well, you know what? There's no answer for that, unfortunately. So the thing is there's so many variables. What are you doing with it? What are you throwing on it? What type of rod? What type of reel? I mean, just the baits, blah, blah, blah. It goes on, right? There's no way to narrow that down. So for me, it's a trial and error. Now, I'm going to let you know that as an average fisherman, and when I say average fisherman, I mean the guy that goes out when he's not at work, when he has time off on the weekends, maybe once or twice a week. What I'm going to tell you is that I have tried the different makes and most of the different models, and I've narrowed it down to a handful. But I'm going to tell you right now, my number one favorite is copolymer. Right there. Done. Cut. Dry. Copolymer is my favorite. I will touch on a couple of the other ones, but that's pretty much all I throw now is copolymer on everything. With Braid for the exception of a few things, right? So, okay, let's cover the Braid right quick just because that's easy, right? So, Power Pro. I got some Power Pro right here, 30 and 40 pound test Braid. This is what I throw for very specific situations. What are those situations? So the two situations I'm going to throw Braid are going to be for umbrella rig fishing and jig fishing. Here's why. Umbrella rig and jig fishing. So both of those, it's pretty pricey baits, right? Stop and think about this for a second. Umbrella rig, I mean, you're looking at $20 to $30 for a rig, depending on what you throw. Some are cheaper. Like I said, don't quote me here. But if you throw lighter wire hooks, if you get hung up on something, fishing this around brush piles, fishing this around treetops, whatever, you can straighten those hooks out, because Braid stuff, it's really tough, and you can get your stuff back, right? That's why I like it. Jigs, same thing. I can bend that hook 2 or 3 times, get it back. I pay for this out of my pocket just like most of you do. That's why I like it, right there. Number one, I can get it back. I like getting my stuff back. So Braid, that's pretty much the only time I'm gonna use Braid. With the exception, one more exception, I forgot this, one more exception. If I'm fishing a grass lake. If I'm fishing a lot of grass and I'm trying to rip through reeds, rip through pads, rip through things like that, I probably will use Braid. Now that'll be, whether it be flipping, pitching, frogging, whatever. That's just depending on your area where you're fishing. Where I'm at right here in Northwest Arkansas, there's not a lot of grass in the lakes that I am fishing. So the fishing that I'm doing with Braid, umbrella and jig, right? A-rigs and jig. That's what I'm doing with it. And that is just an average Joe fisherman to another average Joe fisherman. And when I say average Joe fisherman, just to clarify, all right, this is guys that are fishing on the weekend for fun, the guys that are doing maybe a tournament here and there, just kind of just fun fishing, right? You're paying for this out your pocket, you're doing your thing, okay? So fluorocarbon, let's go over fluorocarbon next. So fluorocarbon, right? I have been using the Berkeley Vanish. Right here I have, I have 20 pound and 17 pound. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not a fan of the fluorocarbon, all right? I'm not going to go into a whole bunch of details. I just don't like the way it spools off. I don't like the memory it holds. I don't like the way it sits on the reel. I don't like the way it backlashes. I'm not a fan. I just don't like it. The knots, everything. I just don't like the fluorocarbon. I'm not a fan, right? Why would I waste money on fluorocarbon when I can get copolymer, which is the best of both worlds and does, in my opinion, more? That's it, bottom line. If you want to argue that point, drop it down below. What I'm saying is that for an average fisherman, I think that the copolymer is the better choice, right? So copolymer, let's get down to it, nitty gritty. Copolymer, the two lines that I have chose to use is the P-line copolymer, right? Fluoro Clear here. And the Cast King Fluorocoat here. Now I have multiple sizes and whatnot of each one. But what I'm going to tell you is this right here. This is my go-to right here, the Cast King Fluorocoat. I love it. I love this stuff. This is what I have on all of my reels right now. I still have some of this P-line just because I bought it, wanted to try it, saved it. It's not bad. I'm not dogging the P-line, guys. What I'm saying is that out of all of the fishing lines, price point, versatility, what you get, bang for buck, you cannot beat this stuff. Again, not affiliated. No way whatsoever. Really like their reels. Saw some line one day. Ordered it on Amazon. Checked it out. Love it. So I have the 12 pound, the 20 pound, and the 30 pound. Right now I am using this for just about every fishing that I do. I mean I am. Okay, knots. This is very similar to everything that you do with your monofilament. Very little difference, right? So I mean trilene knot, Palomar knot, the normal knots. That's what I use the most, and that's where I get it from, right there. So, Cast King. I do think that they have come a long ways, right? So when they first started out, it was cheap. Everybody was like, oh, this is something that's going to go away soon. It's just one of those cheap knockoff brands. I don't believe that, guys. I don't believe that Cast King is going away. You're seeing Cast King sponsoring pros now. Their reels, I've been fishing for a minute. Really like their reels. Been fishing, so the Cast King line, when I first started using this, it's probably been almost a year, maybe a little more than a year, I started using it. When I started using it, it was the 12 pound test, and I was using it on a spinning reel, right? I'm not a fan of spinning reels. But I can tell you this much, with this Cast King line, this Fluorocoat on it, I've been a pretty big fan, so I pick up the spinning reel more than I normally would. But I think that they're coming a long ways, and they're doing really well for themselves. And I'm a big fan. I really am. I'm a big fan of the Cast King equipment. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about this, all right? The copolymer line. What do you think? What do you think is the best line? This is all opinion. This is just stuff that I kind of come up with as I go, trial and error. I do have a basket here with quite a few different things, and I have some more that are stored away. I do think that no matter what line you use, I think line conditioning is very important. All right, so I have two line conditioners that I use here. So I have the Ardent Line Butter right here. And this is the first one that I use because it's readily available, easy to get. Any of your big box stores, Academies, Walmart, stuff like that, you can get it. But I am a big fan of Mike Iaconelli, right? I was, a 90s kid growing up, the Bassmasters and everything else. Really enjoyed Mike. So Ike has the Real Snot. So if you listen to his podcast, Ike Live, you've heard about it. They sponsor it. It's good stuff. This you can get like on Tackle Warehouse, things like that. Real Snot is my favorite. Real Snot gets sprayed on every time I spool a new reel. When I come home, Real Snot gets sprayed on before I store my reels. So this is conditioning my line. Backlashes, casting distance. I mean, there's tons of benefits to this stuff, right? It's not that expensive. It lasts a long time. Highly recommend some type of line conditioning. So let's wrap all this up, right? If you're an average fisherman and you fish just for fun, maybe a couple tournaments a year, on the weekends with your buddies, after work with the boys, whatever you want to do, right? I think that if you're looking for the best line that does everything, I mean everything. I'm talking top water, cranking, jigging, whatever you want. A couple different sizes you're going to need to have here, guys. Remember that. You're going to go with different size, pound tests and whatnot. But I really think the copolymer, bang for buck, is the best choice, right? Like I said, I'm not going to fight you for it because right now my good hand is down. But I'm willing to argue that the copolymer is the best bang for the buck if it's something that you're trying to use for everything. So I don't know. If you know or have any different opinions, drop it down below. I'd like to talk about it. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. If you don't mind, like, share, subscribe, just spread the word. All right, Alternation is here to share information. I'd like to know what you guys think. If you got ideas, things you want to hear about, things you want to talk about, drop those in the comments, please. Please, please, please. Let me know what you want to talk about. I really enjoy doing this type of stuff, and I'm here to stay because unfortunately I can't go anywhere, like I said. But anyways, be catching the new stuff. Hopefully we got some new videos coming out. As you can see, we got the Bassmasters 2022 Classic playing right here. We all know that Jason Christie did awesome, but hey, waiting for the new videos to drop. So it is what it is. We're playing what we can play. Anyways, let me know what you think. Let's talk about it.